Good Wednesday afternoon, I guess it is already. Okay, let's see. Before I get on this, I was just thinking about, because I was saying to my friends, gosh, I hope I'm not making a fool doing this and whatnot, making a fool of myself or dishonoring my late husband or anything like that. But, a decade ago, in my early 50s, when I weighed 205 pounds, I could have put a photo of my hairy chest and my big, hairy, furry butt up somewhere, and I would have had 100, or I would have had 300 likes and all kinds of woofs and comments and stuff like that. But here I am talking about reality, and that's not quite so popular, and I'm older, and you don't really want to look at my butt today. Anyway, but one of the main things I started this about was, for a long time, Jack and I were together for 17 years, and people would say, how do you maintain a long-term relationship? And I've been around bars all my life and seen people's relationships come and go, and see sometimes their altruistic or even unrealistic expectations of another person. And really the way you keep it going is you just keep it going. You have to realize that at some point the relationship becomes its own entity that supersedes and transcends the two of you as individuals. It's its own greater thing. It's more, the whole is more than the amount, the whole is more than the sum of the contributors or whatever. But the relationship becomes a bigger thing. It's almost like a child, and some of us choose monogamy, and some of us, like Jack and I, don't. We were open, and that's a whole other chapter that I always attempted to address. But the one thing I always have remembered from time, it starts any time we get in a relationship, and I meet someone that gets in a relationship, of course you want it to last forever. And no relationship lasts forever. If not divorce, there will be death. And I am now the perfect example of that. I lost my husband unexpectedly. He took his own life. But I cannot say, so it was 17 years in real time. But what lasts forever are the memories and the thoughts and the lessons learned about myself. Our relationships are not really about learning lessons about others. They're about learning about ourselves. So, I had 17 years of having that mirror in him to see myself. So, you have to, it's not always easy. I love Jack more than anything in the world, but, there were some years of profound sadness in there. We never really fought, but there were years where it took a long time to get to this type of, I jokingly call dysfunctional enmeshment that functioned for us. And, there's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of sacrifice. But at some point you have to realize that this is what I chose. And even at this, I have to some point realize that as horrible as this experience is to go through, and as much as I miss him, I must have on some karmic level somewhere chose this, and he must have chose this. And that's the only way I can look at it and keep up hope and faith. And I'll be honest, today I'm feeling a little anger. I'm feeling a little anger today, and they tell you to expect that. But it's like, I realize he didn't do this to me. I realize it was not his intention to do this to me. I realize I'm not to blame and this, that, and the other. And I'm angry that he would do this to himself. But at the same time, I do want to say, fuck, how could you leave me? Leave me in such a mess. And, and our poor cats. Jack loved those cats more than anything in the world. And Stanley loved Jack. He waited for Jack to get home every day, like a dog. And Stanley's just so sad. I can just tell he is so incredibly sad. And, when I go to pet him, he lets out a cry. But no, I'm feeling pretty good today. I have to go see a Social Security attorney, and I gotta, there's so much to do. I'm trying, and every day I try to do something, and I hit another obstacle, another wall, because I don't have death certificates yet. And this is reality. This is life. And I'm no stranger to loss. A man of my vintage has lost hundreds of friends, over the years, but it's never been a partner, and it's never been, I've seen death be a welcome respite to the suffering that they were going through. And I can only imagine that it must have been a welcome respite for Jack also in his case. I just was not aware of his profound suffering. So anyway, hug your cat and hug somebody you love. And it's time for me to, get out there and get life moving. And I'm really scared about driving because I'm really shaky and I'm prone to emotional breakdowns. But I'm going to drive as long as I still have my car. I'm going to have to surrender it, no doubt, sometime soon. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being there, and we'll talk again later. And I wish you all the best. Just stay positive and never give up. Just never give up. And happiness is wanting what you got. Later, we'll get together. Bye now.